So I've gotten a lot of questions in regard if I have a template in how I collect data by watching cEDH YouTube channels. And the answer is yes, I have something of a template. However, it's like, well, let me show you. So in this video, I'm actually going to do it, like showcase it, like a behind the scenes, you could say, literally how I am collecting the work. And we are going to be watching a Rocco, Tymna, Crom, Gitrog, Rona, Game State Idaho finals from the Mind Over Meta YouTube channel. But super warning, this video is going to be very repetitive and honestly might even be a little bit boring to watch, so I don't even know if I'm going to monetize this thing. But this is basically what we're going to try to create in this YouTube video and showcase how it's done. So those of you who want to help can see the templates, I guess. But when you do gameplay statistics, it's very important that you actually get to see what people are doing. By the way, we're going to have like a head, yeah, this thing, so that you can actually hear what they are saying in the game. And also very importantly, I brought my breakfast. Now first and foremost, we need to figure out who is the starting player. So we have a Savannah from Rocco, so he's the starting player. And then we have a Gemstone Caverns as a pre-game effect. This means that we can begin by collecting Rocco's deck list. So we're gonna do copy deck list. And we're gonna just paste over that in here. And we're gonna fix that. We're gonna remove this, remove that. Just look at everything, making sure it looks great. Cool, save. Next in turn order is Adam on Tymna Crom. It's this one. Copy deck list. Need to remove that. Need to remove that. Also actually need to remove this. Oh, sorry. There we go. Third in turn order is Gitrog. Copy deck list. Remove that thing and remove that thing. Also, we need to remove that part. And that part too. And last person in turn order is Jonathan on Rona. Copy deck list. Remove that part and that part. Also gonna remove that and this and this, and that thing too. So now we have 4 player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4 text files containing all their information. We're gonna copy that, so we have card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's open those. So card 1 is player 1, card 2 is player 2, card 3 is player 3, card 4 is playing 4, and this is the information on player 1, this is the information on player 2, information on player 3, and information on player 4. Now, as we can see here, we have a Gemstone Caverns from player 3. So we're gonna go here to the Gitrog Monsters card 3, find Gemstone Caverns, there it is. We're gonna remove it like that, go to his information on player 3, brackets, copy paste, colon, pre-game. So now we have written in that Gitrog Monster player 3 had a pre-game effect of a Gemstone Caverns. Going back to this game, we can see that up there we have Savannah. So we're gonna go here, change land drop to 1, save that, find Savannah, there it is, and remove that. This means that player 1 have played a Savannah. So what we're going to do later in the stage of this, why am I removing cards and not adding cards? It's comparing the player 1 text file with card 1 text file. And if a line of text is missing from the card 1, but while it is in player 1, it's added into the dataset. This is just to make things smoother and simpler for me, because just removing a Sol Ring or removing Savannah instead of typing Savannah is easier to operate and make this work faster, even though it's going to take like long. I mean, this video is going to probably be long. Now let's watch, let's just play. You can probably hear what he's saying. Sol Ring, pause, back here, remove Sol Ring, play game again, and he casts a Lotus Petal, remove Lotus Petal, back to the game, play. He passes the turn. I think you can hear them from the heads from my speakers, but I'm just gonna say what they're doing anyway. So that's a command tower and a Mystic Remora. So now we're player 2, increase land drop. Where is command tower and where is Mystic? There it is, Mystic Remora. Remove like that. Jump to 2. brackets, Mystic Remora, colon, 0, and we're gonna write turn 1. Back to the game, continue. As you can see, I'm like pausing, playing a lot during this. So turn goes to player 3, who is the Gitrog monster player. He plays a Mox Diamond, which is going to feed a card for fish. So back here, we need to increase this value from 0 to 1 and save. Because that value up there is tracking how many cards the Mystic Remora drew during the entire game. While on player 3, we're going to remove Mox Diamond. He discards a Gaia's Cradle? He doesn't have any creatures. Imperial Seal, and it gives a card draw to Mystic Remora. So increase that again. Remove Imperial Seal. Now sometimes I actually do, let's showcase. I do this, and I go to 3 here, brackets, Imperial Seal, and let's go Sol Ring. Because sometimes I know what they are tutoring for. In this case, I don't know what they're going to tutor for, so we're not going to write what he did, what kind of action he took there. Next important step, take a bite on the food. It's currently 8 o'clock in the morning for me, so I'm eating my breakfast. But we're going to do one more thing. On the cost of Imperial Seal, he's going to lose 2 life. So this is player 3. He has now dealt 2 damage to himself. Yeah, we're tracking that too. And how much damage they're dealing to others. Back to the game, play. Yeah, he can see he lost life there and moved Imperial Seal to grave. They're currently like fiddling with their stuff, so perfect timing for more breakfast. I'm pretty sure an Ancient Tomb. So back here, increase that to 1 and remove the Ancient Tomb. He's now tapping mana. He's losing 2 more life. So back here, we're increasing the 2 to 4 because Ancient Tomb deals damage to him. And it costs a... Wait, I need to listen to this. It's a Life from the Loam. So we can't see that, but I went back in the video and listened to it. And he said Life from the Loam. So we're just gonna remove Life from the Loam. And he's actually retargeting his Gaia's Cradle, bring it back to his hand. And gives a card to Mystic Remora. So I need to go back here to Mystic Remora, increase it to a 3. Back to the game. Now you can actually see the Life from the Loam there. Turn goes to player 4. He plays a Scalding Tarn and pass. So here on 4, we're only going to do that. And now we're at player 1, back to the game, who plays a Temple Garden. So he lost 2 life, so increasing the land count to 2 and changing his damage self 1 and remove the TS on the bottom, Temple Garden gone. Back to the game. He costs a Food Chain. Back to the here, we remove Food Chain. This is going to trigger Mystic Remora, as you can see he draws a card there. And we are going to increase that to a 4. He actually passes the turn. Wait, Let's retake Food Chain. Do it like that. Go here. Because we can actually do comments. Food Chain and pass turn. Right, like that. So he's dropping a comment into the game that he casts Food Chain and pass turn. He pays or pitch, draws a card, Ancient Tomb. Increase that. And remove Ancient Tomb. So now 2 people have actually an Ancient Tomb in play. Back to the game. He taps the Ancient Tomb and causes an Arcane Signet and pass turn. So we need to deal 2 damage to him, and we need to remove the Arcane Signet. Game continues. Gitrog draws a card. Lionside Diamond. He's probably going to cast like Gitrog monster here. So first remove Lionside Diamond, and I think this is just an auto action. So remove Gitrog monster 2. Go to 3, and obviously, just like Mystic Remora, we're tracking Gitrog monster's card draw 2. He taps the Ancient Tomb for 2 damage. Cabal Initiate. So first we need to increase his damage to that, and Cabal Initiate. I actually don't know what that is. Lots of talk. He plays land, Gaia's Cradle. Tap the Cradle, and there's the frog, yeah. But he also made a land drop, and the land he played was a Gaia's Cradle on G. There it is, remove. Done. Let's keep going. Player 4 fetches an Underground Sea. So we need to increase players 4 damage on self-track and find... Oh, yeah, I actually forgot to remove Scalding Tarn and Underground Sea. He plays a Miss... I don't know what that kind of land is, but he plays a Sol Ring. He plays his commander. What land is that? I need to listen to this. He didn't say what land he played. What kind of land is that? This happens sometimes. We're just going to put a 2 here. So we don't know what land he played, but we're increasing his land drop. And he played a Sol Ring, and he played Rona. Remove it like that. And add Rona with brackets and a 0, because she can draw and discard cards. Rocco for 3 mana. He plays that's a Boseiju who endures. So go back here, increase that, and remove Boseiju who endures. Actually, I'm gonna show you something. So sometimes Boseiju can actually be used as an interaction, and if it's used like an interaction, I put it in here, and it's usually like stop combo, like that. So as Boseiju was a land drop, we're not adding that, meaning that we know that Boseiju was just a land drop in this case. And then he played Rocco for 3, which is gonna be Squeedy Immortal. As Rocco can tutor for stuff, we are going to put it into brackets like that. And we're gonna write Squeedy Immortal here in a second if this thing resolves. He's trying to win here. There's a Force of Will pitching a life. So we go to player 2, we're gonna find Force of Will, remove that, like this. And we're gonna go here, brackets, Force of Will, stop combo. Similar to how I showcased for you with the Boseiju who endures, but we're also going to go here and increase attack player 1. So attack player is the amount of times someone has used a card to interact with someone, and we're also indicating of who it was. So this is the Force of Will being used to stop a combo, and this is on who the attack was made against. Oh, sorry, we also need to increase because he damaged himself, because Force of Will deals damage to, so from 2 to 3. Keep going game. Rocco dies, goes back to command zone. So right now we should probably remove this, but as I do have a feeling the game is going to go longer, we're gonna keep it here. However, we are not returning Rocco up here because Rocco was casted. He tried to resolve it. It was just interacted with. He pays for fish. He pays a fish with Ancient Tomb. So we're going to increase that to a 5 and place a Mox Diamond. You need to remove the Mox Diamond. There it is from player 2. And he plays a Windswept Heath. He sacrifices his Windswept Heath, lose a life. So we're going to increase his land drop to a 3, as this is turn 3. He takes a damage from the Windswept Heath. And we're going to remove Windswept Heath from here. He's finding a Scrubland. So we need to remove Scrubland. Game goes on. He casts... he removes the Simian Spirit Guide and casts Crom. So back here, Simian Spirit Guide removed, and Crom remove like that. And go here, add brackets, Crom coolon 0, because Crom can draw cards too, just like Mystic Remora. So now we can compare how much card draw Mystic Remora is actually going to do. I can actually show you this. So this is the same thing, the amount of cards Mystic Remora has drawn throughout various turn cycles. So the value we are writing in here onto the Mystic Remora is the value that you're seeing up there, that is showing you the average amount of cards it draws. Here then pass turn, and turn goes to Gitrog, who will sacrifice gems, Ancient Tomb. He takes 2 from that, and he is going to draw a card with Life from the Loam, and he gets a Life from the Loam trigger there. So what we're going to do is increase Gitrog monster to 2, because he sacrificed a land, he dredged Life from the Loam and got a second hit, so he has basically drawn 2 cards with Gitrog monster. And he took 2 damage from the Ancient Tomb. Back to the game. He didn't use anything with the mana, so he just lost 2 life. Wait, he's discarding cards. So whatever that Cabal thing we added before is apparently a discard outlet for Gitrog. So he just drew a card, he just discarded a land. So we need to increase Gitrog to 3 here. And he dredges with Life from the Loam. He hits a land. So Frog is going to draw a card again. And he dredge 3, replacing that thing. Hits another land. That Gitrog monster is going to have a huge value up there. And I'm not going to narrate through exactly what's happening in detail because I think you actually understand. But we are casting Life from the Loam. Mystic Remora triggers. So you need to increase Mystic Remora count to 5. Crom is going to trigger once he casts his second spell here. He returns lands to his hand. Food time. He played a land drop and he sacrificed Windstep Thief. So back here, increase land drop, increase damage. And I think we already have, or did he mill? No, so Windstep Thief gone like that. But we also increase that trigger because he fetched a land. He replaces draw with dredge. No land, so we don't. Oh wait, we do. No, we don't. We have already added that one, so we're not increasing his Gitrog monster card draw trigger there. He finds Overgrown Tomb, shocks it into play, so we increase damage to 11 and find Overgrown Tomb. There it is, remove. He discards Cabal Pit, dredges, so 2 more. So that 6 goes to 8. He does this again, land again. I don't think I'm going to sit here and go through all of this, so... Or well, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to showcase it for you. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, this is gonna be very repetitive. He cycles Tranquil Thicket. So let's find Tranquil... There it is. Let's remove that as it's being used. We're going to get a frog trigger from that. And we're going to do here, colon, cycling. There we go. Back to the game. Dredges, no land, so not, there was a land there, so that increases. A land again, increase that to 14. There's a land again. I said I wasn't going to go over this, but we are going over this again, I guess. Sorry guys. Okay, he's actually very unlucky. If you take a look at his deck list and his graveyard, the difference is huge. He's been digging quite heavily here. And if you look here, he has 19 Gitrog monster triggers, and he's been dredging with that. So, no, he hasn't drawn 19 cards, or well, he has had 19 card draw triggers, you could say, but he has been digging heavily through his deck. So we can actually go here and say unlucky to that. He's also casting Life from the Loam a time, so we're gonna increase Mystic Remora and increase Crom here, as he's pointing at those things, and there he draws his first card and his second one. He plays Verdant Catacombs as land for turn, so we're gonna go here and increase the 3 to a 4 and find Verdant Catacombs. There it is. He should have found his Dakmor Salvage by now, a long time ago. Discards Mana Confluence, dredges Life from the Loam. So we're gonna increase this one to 20, go back and see if he hits a land with his Life from the Loam. He died there, it's Dakmor Salvage. And when he hits that land with the Life from the Loam dredge, Gitrog monster triggers again. And I don't know, maybe we should remove the unlucky. Let me know what you think. We're gonna remove it. If he didn't actually find the Dakmor Salvage through all of this, I would probably keep the unlucky there. Going back to this game, Dakmor is in his hand. Now we're actually going to kind of stop the entire Gitrog monster draw cards thing, because he has kind of found his outlet, and from this point he has infinite. So you could write something like here, infinite, if you wanted to, but it stopped like at this point. From here, it was like just the how good of a value engine is Gitrog monster able to like create, but now when it's like infinite draws, if we would have continued and doing it properly, it would have looked like that. And that's just gonna ruin the statistics. So we're gonna keep it at 21, and we're not going to increase Gitrog monster's card draw trigger unless he's interacted with, because we are half through this match. So I'm guessing that he's going to be stopped here in some case, in some form or way. He asks if he's allowed to do the infinite thing, so he goes infinite card draw here basically. I forgot. We need to remove Dakmor Salvage, because he has access to Dakmor Salvage now. There's the Ulamog, the shuffle thing. So we need to go in here and find Ulamog. There it is. Remove Ulamog. because Ulamog is not being like put on stack or casted, but it's being used the way it's kind of intended to. Whoa, this is actually funny. So there's a I don't know if you heard, I don't think you heard that. There's a comment from one of the players saying, I still don't understand how this works. And here's the thing, Gitrog Monster is a very weird commander that a lot of people haven't really seen. So they're just, I don't see how this works. Is this a combo? Does this win? And yeah, he's in theory winning here because he draws entire deck. So if he has infinite card draws on his on the stack, he's going to deck himself and die. But he can negate infinite card draw by discarding Ulamog infinitely, shuffling back Ulamog into his graveyard, and then redrawing Ulamog. Here, yeah, exactly. He's just putting Ulamog in grave, shuffle it in there, drawing Ulamog, and such. So right now he's just explaining how the infinite card of a Gitrog monster works for his opponents. And he actually don't know. Maybe he's just gonna sit here for 6 more minutes and explain how this works. The video might be over. Or the game actually might be over. He's casting crop rotation. He's actually moving into the finisher, how he's actually killing everyone. And I have a feeling he's gonna be sitting here and explaining that too. So there's crop rotation. We are not... Normally I do it like this. Oh, sorry. Brackets, crop rotation. And I write the name of the land he's tutoring for. He's actually more using it like a combo finish, so we're not going to add anything there. Back to the game. Wait, this should give Mystic Remora a trigger, I think. He announces the fish trigger and he draws for fish. So go here, increase 6 to 7. A fierce guardianship on the crop rotation. So let's go here, remove fierce guardianship. Bracket, stop combo. And it's on player 3. Back to the game. So currently, you can't see the stack because they don't actually showcase it here. But it's a crop rotation and then a fierce guardianship on top of it. It looks like it actually resolved. He cast Lotus Petal. So let's go here. We're gonna find Lotus Petal. And I did see the hand and he announced it. Increase Mystic Remora to 8. He discards the Shuffle Titan. Shuffle those. He's discarding lands. He's cracking his Lotus Petal. He casts crop rotation again, that was interacted with. Fish draws a card. Increase fish to 9. Wait, he's playing both Shuffle Titans. He's playing Kozilek too. We need to go here. I actually need to remove Kozilek too. Because he's using both now actually. This is actually... So, you might be skeptic about why do we even add Kozilek to the card used selection here when he's not casting them. The thing is that he's using both. He's using Ulamog and Kozilek at the same time to make sure he's able to win this game, even though there's a fish in play that is drawing cards like Mindbreak, Trap and such. Because eventually there will be infinite Mystic Remora triggers on the stack here. So by removing both, we're showcasing that he's utilizing both in this situation. He's recasting... He's starting the loop, so he just gave Mystic Remora another card right here. Going back here, increase Mystic Remora to 10. And he discards Dagmar Salvage. He's doing this a little bit weird, but I guess... Well, yeah, he's doing this a little bit different compared to how I execute the Gitrog Monster combo here, basically. But it's getting there. He casts Dark Ritual, giving fish a card draw. Remove Dark Ritual. And increase fish to 11. Polluted Sister. He casted... That's the finisher, actually. So we're gonna go here. Go here. And find Polluted Sister. It's this one. X, remove. And we're gonna go here. And write Finisher. Whenever one or more cards are put into your graveyard from your library, each opponent loses 1 life for each card type among those cards. Which is going to do infinite loss of life to his opponents. Because he is basically just milling himself infinitely from this point. And yeah, he then said, I'm just gonna sit here and dredge until everyone dies. He gains, there's a fish trigger here. So we're gonna increase the 11 to 12. And then he's saying he wants to infinite dredge. And there's gonna be no more fish triggers from this, because he's not casting a spell anymore. So the final count end on Mystic Remora is 12 here. And this is actually a good showcase when Mystic Remora is having a huge card draw value while you still lost with it. Crom drew 1 card this game. Gitrog monster drew infinite, but in theory we can actually remove the infinite, I think. Rona drew 0, and we are going to remove this one because in the end Rocco never tutored for anything. So now we're done. Awesome. Add channel. Now here's the thing. This was the mind over meta, but this was actually a tournament. So we're gonna write tournament there. Name, Liam is starting player. Liam, and he played Rocco. Copy paste Rocco, life, his end life total was 38. His land count, we're gonna go to his deck list, scroll down to the land count, which is 27. So we write 27 in there, player 2. Add them, oh, like that. And he played that commander with a life total finish on 34 and a land count. Scrolling down on the blue farm deck list, we have 27. Player free name is Sherman, who played the Gitrog monster, and his life total ended on 29. Here comes the funny part. Land count in his deck list is at 40. Last player name is Fan, like that. And his commander is Rona, Herald of Invasion, land life 39, and his land count is at 28. So we write 28 there. Winner was player 3. Game ended on turn 3. I mean, look at this. Rona didn't even have a turn 3. It just ended on the turn. No, Rona only had a turn 2. Game ended on turn 3. And the win con, we are going to write the Gitrog monster plan A. Oh, there we go. Because this was literally how Gitrog monster is intended to be played, and it won exactly how the plan A game plan is. So if we go here, we suddenly have our game 504. Channel is tournament. Here's the date this happened. Here is Liam, Adam, Sherman, Jonathan, the commanders, they played. Here's the Gitrog monster, and here is Rona. Player 3 won, which is here. And here's the deck list. Here are all the cards they played. So the Gitrog monster had Ancient Tomb, Cabal, Initiate, which was the discard outlet. He used Crop Rotation, Dacmor Savage, Dark Ritual, Gaia's Cradle, Gemstone Caverns as a pre-game effect, Imperial Seal, Kozilek, and we can move further down the road. We have Lion's Eye, Life from the Loam, Lion's Eye Diamond, Lotus Petal, Mox Diamond. We keep going over to the side. You can actually see that he's the one who played most of the cards, which is, yeah, he won, so that's given. Overgrown Tomb, Polluted Delta, the ticket that he cycled, Ulamog, Infinite Gear, Verdant Catacombs, and Windswept Heath. While in Rona's case, we had Rona, Scalding Tarn, Soul Ring, and Underground Sea. And there was a land he played that I didn't notice what it was, but we can see here that he made 2 land drops. And he made 1 damage to himself, and you see all the information here at comment that was written in those text files. And the game ended on turn 3. That's it. That's how it's done. If we go here now, we increased player 3's win, so it went from 122 to 123, and we're up at 504 games, and this is currently just updating basically everything. The game ended on turn 3, so this was a 15 that went to a 16. And here Mystic Remora increased its value here as well, actually, because the Mystic Remora drew a lot of cards. We can actually look at the Gitrog monster too, so we don't have that many games with the Gitrog monster. But as you can see, the game ended right here, winner. This is actually the first time a Gitrog monster apparently won on turn 3, because those card draws, those 21, was added right in here. Gitrog monster have won on turn 4 here apparently with 14, and then he has won here and lost here. So you can see the values on different turn finishing, on how much cards the Gitrog monster has been drawing. So we currently have 10 total games of the big frog boss, And from that, it's won 4 games and lost 6, giving it a 40% win rate, which is absolutely not trustworthy because it's not a popular commander, it doesn't see that much action. But as we are also calculating the cards that Gitrog monster played, like I showcased, we removed cards from that list. Cards suddenly appear here. So we have an Ancient Tomb. It's appeared in 3 out of those 10 games, and every single time it appeared, Gitrog monster has won. That's interesting. Well, in the end, like, the key to Gitrog monster is to get Gitrog monster into play as fast as possible. So cards like Ancient Tomb is obviously great. And Tomb has appeared once. Where is Dakmore Salvage? 4 appearances, and every time it appears, Gitrog monster wins. Obviously, no brainer. This was actually apparently the first time Life from the Loam was used in one of the 10 games of Gitrog monster. But as you can see, like, as we are adding cards to the dataset, we can see what cards are being good for various commanders and such. Like, if a commander gets access to this certain card, this Ancient Tomb, how frequently does it win with that? Regardless, that's basically the magic trick, or that's basically how it looks like behind the scenes on how I collect data, how it looks like. And there's a lot of more details. There's a lot of different coded communications, you could say, inside my system that allows me to track data and results of various things. You saw the Gemstone Caverns in the pre-game, and you saw how much damage they dealt to each other, how Force of Will stop combo, and who it was used against, and such. So, I mean, if you feel like you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to write them in the comments below of this video, or if you want to write to me on the Discord, you can do that too, and maybe we could communicate on something. But this took some time to do this. I don't know how long the video is gonna be, but I started 44 minutes ago, basically. So it takes time. On the other hand, I've been sitting here like recording at the same time, so give and take. But it's a lot of work. Regardless, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this and you thought it was entertaining, even though I think it's gonna be I think this is gonna be one of the most repetitive videos ever. See you around, guys. Have a great day. I gotta finish my breakfast.